Once upon a time, in a quiet little village nestled between rolling green hills and a whispering forest, there lived a boy named Elias. Elias was not like the other children in the village. From the moment he was born, people noticed something unusual about him. His eyes shimmered like stars, and his laughter sounded like wind chimes dancing in the breeze. But most remarkable of all was the light that seemed to glow softly from within him, as if his very soul was too bright for this world. The villagers loved Elias, for his presence brought warmth and joy. He had a way of making even the saddest hearts feel lighter. When old Mrs. Hilda lost her cat, Elias sat with her, telling stories until she smiled again. When the baker's son scraped his knee, Elias would hum a gentle tune, and the pain would fade. No one could explain it, but everyone knew Elias was special. Yet, as Elias grew older, he began to notice something troubling. The world around him was often dark, full of anger, pain, and loneliness. People fought over land, children went hungry, and the elders spoke of wars in distant lands. The more Elias saw, the heavier his heart became. One evening, as he sat beneath the ancient oak tree at the edge of the village, he whispered to the wind, "Why is the world like this? Why can't people see the light inside them?" That night, Elias had a dream. A figure cloaked in shimmering silver appeared before him and spoke in a voice like flowing water. "Elias," the figure said, "you carry a rare gift, a soul so bright it can remind others of their own light. But the world is not ready for such radiance. Darkness clings to hearts, and fear dims the eyes of men." Elias woke with tears on his cheeks. He understood then that his light was both a blessing and a burden. Some would cherish it, but others might fear it, or worse, try to extinguish it. Days passed, and Elias struggled. The village children who once adored him began whispering behind his back. "He's strange," they said. "No one should glow like that." Even the adults, though they appreciated his kindness, sometimes looked at him with uneasy eyes. The village priest warned that such brightness could be unnatural, a trick of unseen forces. Elias felt alone. He wandered into the forest, where the trees stood tall and silent, their leaves rustling secrets. There, he met an old woman named Maeve, who lived in a tiny cottage covered in ivy. She was known as the village wise woman, though some called her a witch. Maeve took one look at Elias and smiled. "Ah," she said, "I've been waiting for you." Elias frowned. "Waiting for me?" Maeve nodded. "The world is full of shadows, child, but souls like yours, they are rare. They come to remind us that light still exists. But what if my light is too much?" Elias asked, his voice trembling. "What if people don't understand?" Maeve sighed and stirred a pot of simmering herbs. "Light is not meant to be hidden, Elias, but not all eyes can bear its brightness. Some will turn away. Others will try to dim you. But there are those who will see you, truly see you, and their own light will awaken because of yours." Elias thought about her words. He didn't want to hide, but he didn't want to be feared either. "What should I do?" he asked. Maeve handed him a small, smooth stone. "Carry this. When the world feels too heavy, hold it and remember, you are not here to fix the darkness. You are here to shine despite it." With the stone in his pocket, Elias returned to the village. The whispers continued, but he no longer let them weigh him down. He sang to the children, helped the elders, and walked through the marketplace with his head held high. Some still shied away from him, but others, especially the ones who had forgotten their own light, began to smile when he passed. One winter night, a terrible storm raged over the village. The wind howled, and the river swelled, threatening to flood the homes. The villagers panicked, rushing to gather their belongings. But Elias stood in the center of the village square, his hands outstretched. He closed his eyes and let his light shine brighter than ever before. A warm, golden glow spread from him, pushing back the storm's fury. The winds calmed. The rain slowed, and for a moment the entire village stood still, bathed in the radiance of Elias's soul. When the storm passed, the villagers stared at him in awe. Some fell to their knees. Others reached out as if to touch the fading light. The priest, who had once doubted him, bowed his head. "Forgive me," he whispered. Elias simply smiled. "There's nothing to forgive," he said. "The light was always in you, too. You just needed to remember." From that night on, the village changed. People were kinder. They helped one another. The children no longer whispered. They laughed and played, their own sparks of light shining a little brighter. And Elias? He stayed among them, not as an outcast, but as a reminder of what they could be. Years later, when Elias was an old man, the villagers would tell his story to their grandchildren. They spoke of the boy with the starry eyes, the one whose soul was too bright for this world. But they also spoke of how his light had touched them all, how it had awakened something long forgotten inside their own hearts. And on the quietest nights, if you listened closely, you could still hear the echo of his laughter, like wind chimes dancing in the breeze, a melody of light that never truly faded. The end.